Hello, everyone. It's great to be back here on the Christian Music Bros podcast. I'm your host, Brendan. It's lovely to see all your guys' faces here. Grayson said hello, and he can't make it for this episode, but he's excited to be here for the next few episodes, and we like you tuning in, so thanks for tuning in. So if you like what you're listening to, like, follow, subscribe. Today I have a very special guest and a dear friend of mine. We have Cliff Preston. So, Cliff, thank you for joining again.
Hey, what's up, man? Good to be here. Appreciate you having me.
You're welcome. And if you guys want to go like a throwback, Cliff was on this podcast maybe about 2.5 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. Time flies when you're having fun, I guess. Like it's been a long time, but Cliff's been doing a lot of great things in the last 2 years, and it's great to see Cliff back. So again, Cliff, thank you for being here.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me.
And for those who are watching, we're gonna start diving in. So Cliff, it's been a long time. Like I said, you've been here 2 years ago, and then a lot of change in the last 2 years. Can you just tell us a little bit about your music background quickly to just catch everyone back up to speed for people that didn't watch that episode or don't know who you are?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I started traveling in music in 2002. So I've been doing it a really long time. Some would say not well, but but I feel like I learned a whole lot. Started traveling 2002. In 2013, 14, around that time, I started to take some time off. I've just to try to, well, I tell everybody I had to learn some things in my life, how to be a better dad and a better husband. And so traveled for 11 years, took a little time off. And about 4 years ago, got called again by a dear friend. And they said they wanted me to come to a writer's retreat. I went to a writer's retreat because I've written the whole time, so never stopped writing songs. And went to a writer's retreat, and they asked me to do a record, and I did a record, and that was 4 years ago. Uh, Songs and record came out, and I've been on Winter Jam the last 2 years. Once with a group that I'm a part of called the Band Table, and then last year by myself. And had a brand new song just come out called "Testify," and working on new music and a new record right now. So it's just a whole lot, man. I've been doing it for a long time, and just excited to still be doing it. I think it's a blessing that over the last 24, 25 years, I've been able to do some things that people dream about, and I'm excited to continue another 15, 20, 30 years.
Right. And it's really exciting to see like what's happened in like just the course of the 2 years. Like we said, you were on Winter Jam twice. You have new music coming out before, and just before that's 2 years, you released your first album. If you want to call it your first album, I mean, you've done like you said, you've been in music forever, so you could have like a deep, dark copy somewhere of something I don't know about, but in the webs. But
That's the way it'll
Rebel
stay.
Wreckage. But like, can you tell us a little bit about that first project? You had a lot of great songs, like there was Better Road, Who the Cross for, and everything. Can you tell us a little bit about that project going into that?
Yes. So honestly, like that project was five um songs that I had held on to for years, and I would always say I don't think I'm going to do another record or anything like that, but then I always had these songs that I held on to that if I was ever going to do a record, then I would put these on them. And um and then got with the people who I went to that writers retreat. They've all become my dear friends, and some of my best friends. And man, we wrote five new ones that were perfect for me. Just finding, I guess, just finding the voice, that I had, that I didn't realize it. And for so many years, we were trying to fit into something. I think, and I think that was the way that the industry caused you to be. It was like we were trying to fit into something, and so maybe your voice, maybe we made it too poppy, or we tried to fix things the way it would be great. And we made some really good music, but I was encouraged that somebody, Jordan Merritt, my buddy, produced my record, I always was just like so self-conscious because I was around all these people who could just sing. They could sing crazy, like Jonathan Lee and Jordan and Jade. And I'm like, dude, all these people can sing. I feel like I'm just a funny dude. And Jordan said, here's the thing about you. When you sing, I believe everything you say. And that means the world to me because authenticity is the most important thing to me. And um and it encouraged me. I got to record some songs. They're real, and Better Road is a real song. And we got to just go back to the roots of who I was. I just got to sing like I wanted to sing. And that was Rebel and Wreckage. It was a story about how God could take the learning that I needed to do and the situations that caused that, and it came to this big thing about how God can get the glory through your story, and that was Rebel and Wreckage.
It's a really good album. If anyone hasn't checked it out, I recommend listening to it. I've listened to it at least 3 times in the last like year and a half. And Better Road's actually on my. I have a Christian music playlist. I'm a massive Christian music playlist, which is everything that I like in one big playlist. Don't listen to that playlist if you're listening to this podcast. It's like 280 hours long, and I do not put you through that case. And then I have a mini mix, which is like a condensed version of that, and there's like only like 20 hours. So listen to that one. So if you follow me on Spotify, follow that one. But I actually have Better Road in that playlist, and it comes up like almost every day.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. It was kind of the rebirth, is what I would say. A rebirth that sounded like me, that was honest, and everywhere I go now, people ask me to sing it, and I will. That'll be one that I sing in everything that I do from here till Kingdom Come.
Amen. And you said the writers retreat. I met with Jordan actually a few months ago on the podcast. Is this the same writers retreat that Jordan brought up on the podcast? Probably. I'm just
It
curious.
is. It is. It was so crazy, man. Because I didn't know Jordan when we went to that meeting, and but I got there first. And I didn't want to go, to be honest. Like, I was completely fine in my hometown, working on business stuff that I work on. And Jenny Riddle is the lady who called, and she was like, I want you to come to this writers retreat. God told me you were supposed to come to this retreat. And I was like, I'm too busy. And she was like, well, God told me you're supposed to come, so you got to come. So I talked to my wife, and my wife told me I was a writer, so go write. So I went. On the way up, it was snowing. There was ice on the road, and it was snowing. I was like, this is a sign. I'm not supposed to go. I ran off the road in a car, and I'm using my mom's car at the time. It's a Ford Escape, just the little Ford car. So I'm sitting in the ditch going to this writer's retreat. And I'm like, there's no shot. This is a sign. And I thought, if I can pull out of this ditch and keep going, I'll keep going. But if I can't, I'll just call them and tell them I can't come. Brother, that little bitty car pulled right out of that ditch in the snow and the ice. And I'm from the South, and I know the mud and the big tires, and those big trucks would have got stuck. But God made that car drive out of that ditch, and I ended up going to Indiana, met Jordan there, and yeah, the rest is kind of history because I have another baby. Okay, since we talked last, I have a 1 year old. That baby's name is Merritt. Like, we named her after that family. So, um, great people, great writers retreat. And now we write. We wrote 2 songs yesterday. We write all the time.
That's really exciting to see. And when he were explaining the weather, I was like, "Are you going to Michigan?" Because that's how Michigan always is. I feel like we get like 2 seasons. It's like construction season or winter season. Like I was like, I was just
Yep,
thinking about it.
Indiana, close.
Close enough. This is not Ohio. We don't want to talk about Ohio on this podcast, but all jokes aside, and it's really exciting. From there, you said you spent the last 2 years on Winter Jam and everything. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience for you? Like, how was that experience? First, you were with the band table, and then you did your own solo act. And how was Winter Jam like the last 2 years for you?
It was wonderful. New song. The guys they've just they've become very special to me. And it's such a full circle moment because the first song that I ever got produced or ever got picked up by a band was New Song, like just out of the blue. And so they put one of my songs on one of their records, which is not normal because Eddie writes everything, like Eddie and them, they all get together and they write. But they picked up one of my songs, and but I didn't know them. Then we go on Winter Jam last year, and with the band table, and I'm hanging out with all of the people who, really were instrumental in getting me to a place where people would listen to the songs that I'd write, because
Mhm.
New Song did one. Well, man, they treated us so well. And I think to a point too, we had so many people out with the band table that we rolled 10 deep. There's 8 people on stage with the band table. It's amazing. And we're all pastors, and man, we I told everybody out there the first year, I was like, we don't want to take, like a lot of times when you go out there on those tours, you're like, what can I get? And I was like, we're being out here is the blessing. So let's don't take anything. Let's give. If it feels like taking, don't do it. Let's just go out and minister to people and bless people. And that's what we did. And the Lord was kind in that, and it was amazing. Then I got to go on a run last fall with New Song as a solo, which was crazy. And whenever we was out there, they were like, "Man, we should think about Winter Jam next year." And I was like, "Okay." So I went and did it again. It was like being part of the family, and that they do a great
Mhm.
job. The Carswells New Song do a great job of cultivating and protecting a family culture out there. That if you're a part of it, you're family. And there were artists from years past coming up, and it was like, hey, it's the same production guys for the most part. And like there's Todd is one of the production guys who's just special to me. He's he's a dear friend, and it's from being out there 2 years in a row, and I'm hopefully I'll be able to go do it again. We're talking through some stuff, so
And it was really exciting. And if anyone who doesn't notice, I met Cliff at both shows actually back to back here, so it was really cool to connect with Cliff in person and not just through a video
yep,
screen, but
that's
but
right,
I
that's
think
right.
video
Hugging
screens are the new
necks,
normal. Video screens are the new normal.
yeah, that's right.
But
I
and it
agree.
was very exciting to see you do your set with the band table and then do your solo set this year. And then when I went to your merch table this year, I was like, your merch guy looks familiar, and it's been bothering me for weeks. And I think I finally figured out where I recognized him from. It was just like bothering me for the longest time, and I did not know like where I recognized him from.
All right,
I don't know if I'm right, but I went to see like Jordan St. Cyr last year, and I thought that was the guy that was with Jordan St. Cyr on the road.
yeah, it was. That's
I was like,
John Plett.
no, like I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know like who he was, but I was like, I seen him like familiar. Like I even talked to him like at your merch table for a minute when I was like waiting to say hi to you. I was like, you look familiar. I don't know where I've seen you before, but I've seen you before. And then we went for like hypotheticals. Like, have you been to like this place, this place? I was like, no, no, no. And then like the day after, I was like, that's where I've seen him before.
Dude, he's
But
John. He's the sweetest human. So he played drums and tour managed for Jordan, and then I went on tour with Jordan and Stars Go Dim, and that's where John and I met. And so whenever I went out, I just want to have good people, And when I meet good people, if they're not doing anything or they're not busy, I'll be like, "Come on," And so John got to come with me for sure. He's amazing. He's the sweetest human.
yeah, it was just really funny because like I was like, I seen your face before. I seen your face, and I can't picture where I seen you. It's like you weren't on my podcast. I can tell you that much. And then he's like, "Have you been to like any other Cliff shows this year?" I was like, "No, I haven't been to other Cliff shows because I'm in Michigan, and you guys are always in like Arkansas." And then like it was just bothering me for like the longest time.
You did it. Brilliant recall.
I don't like. I have like my brain is full of Christian music knowledge, like useless fun facts, and that's probably one of them right there. So like, it's not like a useless fun fact, but like I just remember names and faces I see. Like I'm good with faces and names, communication major, but that's just how it went. But
I love
jump
it.
forward after Winter Jam, you just released a new song, "Testify." Can you tell us a little bit about that song?
Yeah. So when I was able to do Winter Jam again, I went to Jordan's house and I was like, okay, so here's the deal. I want to do a new song on Winter Jam. We was already working on a record, and I was like, I've got 10 minutes, because the pre-jam artist, even like the first lights down artist, they get 10 minutes. And I was like, if I can get 10 minutes and I want to play a full song, then that song has to be like 2 minutes and 40 seconds tops, because I want to be able to do other songs. And so I went to Jordan and I said, I want to write about like my story and then my hometown. Like I want to put tidbits about the place that I grew up, and it's been so good to me and the people have been so good to me. So and I'm compulsive about asking people to tell their stories and to share their stories. And if I'm like that, then if I'm asking them to do it, I need to do it. And so, man, we wrote that song, and I kept saying it's got, we need to be shorter. And so I get two verses, a bridge, and three choruses, 2 minutes and 38 seconds. I mentioned Taylor Tire is a place down here that I used to go watch them take the wheels off or take the tires off of the wheels and put the tires back on. It was one of my favorite things to do growing up. I mentioned a couple of my friends that I grew up with, the church that I grew up, that I got saved at, the road that I just talk about all of those places, and the fact of that where you grew up, those are the things that kind of build who you are as a human. um, but there's nothing like Jesus and what he does in our lives. And it doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter what you go through. As a believer, we have a job to do, and that's to go and make disciples. And how we do that is to tell our story. And so I wanted to encourage people to tell their story. And there are fun ways you can tell a story. You can talk about what you used to do as a kid, and that leads into it. But there's nothing more important um than when I met Jesus and telling as many people as I can about that. So it's just a call to testify, and that's what it's about. And 2 minutes and 38 seconds. So it don't take much of your time. You can just listen to it. It'll be easy.
And if you have 2 minutes and 38 seconds, or you have 5 minutes and 6 seconds, I think that's the right math. You should listen to it a second time because it's a really good song and really incredible. And with that new song, you said you're working on new music. Do you have any time frame for when this new music's coming out? You don't have to give me titles or anything, just any time frame.
Yeah, so by the end of the year for sure. I want to have it out before I go on the road this fall. I've got two runs that I'm doing in the fall, and I want to make sure that we're going to release a few singles, and then we'll have a whole project out in the fall. I'm pumped about that. I'm excited. We've been working for a while. So we started working on new music before even we wrote Testify. Testify was a unique thing that we did for a purpose and ended up being amazing. And then, but we have so many songs. That Rebel and Wreckage was the kind of in the midst of the battle, and then this new record is after the Rebel and Wreckage. Here's 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 what God can do, and then here's how we live in it and walk in it. And so I'm pretty excited about that. There's some really cool songs. I'm so proud of Better Road, and I'm so proud of Who the Cross is For, the songs that the Upside Down, the songs that are on that record. But what we're doing now is I've never been more proud of music than or songs is what I would say than right now. So this stuff is going to be special to me, even if nobody listens to it.
I'll be listening to it. So at least you have one person. So you're
Thank you,
welcome.
man.
And for who hasn't listened to Cliff music, make sure to check it out. It's really unique. It's really fresh. And like, even if it's an old song, still listen to it and then listen to the new music. And make sure to support him on the road and everything. And give him all the love you got. Cliff's a great guy. His music's great. Just give him all the love and support in this world. We just have a few
Thank
extra
you,
minutes
brother.
with you. Do you have anything you want to bring up that I haven't brought up yet, or if you have a testimony, or not like a testimony, but like something on your heart you want to share.
Yeah, so what we've been trying to do, one of the last shows, it was actually the last opportunity I got to do the Q&A at Winter Gym. I'm up there, Emerson's there. She's sweet, man. Her and her husband are great, great people. And then I got to be able to do a couple Q&As with Chris Tomlin, and he was up there with us. There was a young lady that came up, and she asked the question. She said, "Hey, a few, I think it was a few weeks back, I attempted suicide, and I'm just wondering how I go on." That was a question at Q&A, bro. And I was like, whoo. And I was like, I'm so glad Chris is up here. He's definitely going to take that one. And then Russ goes, "Cliff, that sounds like a good one for you." And I'm like, oh, but I deal with that. Like I do, I have mental health clinics, and I'm doing my best to put, telemental health anywhere. But what was so unique about that is I started talking to her and I said, "Look, I've struggled with mental health and my family has struggled." And I was going to ask a hypothetical question about how many of us have struggled before. You know what I mean? And the audience thought that I was asking how many of you struggled. Before I could get the whole statement out of my mouth, so many hands raised for people who had struggled with mental health. Not only struggled with mental health, but contemplated suicide and things like that. And I knew that it was an issue. Two things happened. Number one, that young lady realized for maybe the first time in her life that she was not alone, which was so powerful. But the second thing is it just motivated me to redouble my efforts, to be able to help people. And so, um, I have a nonprofit called Chasewell. If you want to help, what we do is we put telemental health software and hardware into churches, and we try to leave mental health services everywhere we go. It's brand new. I mean, we've been trying to prove the concept for the last 2 years, but I actually went and put a mental health machine and software in a church this week. We're doing one in Missouri, coming up May 17th. And so if you're interested in that, you can go to bridgecareconnect.com, or you can go to chasewell.org. And man, just, we want to help. And so I'm trying to raise awareness that you're not alone, and you are loved. And I'm trying to get people help as much as I can. And so it's not a pitch to help us or whatever, but it's more a pitch that if you need it and you want it, then let us know, and we'll do our best to get it to where you are.
Thank you for sharing that. And that's one of those things like I want to add off, but I don't really want to steal that because that's really important. So thank you for sharing that. And
Absolutely,
Cliff,
brother.
I also want to thank you for joining me again today. It's great to always connect with you, even if it's virtually, in person for like 30 seconds, but it's always great to connect with you.
Absolutely, man. Can't wait to see you
And
again.
and everyone who's watching, we hope to see you next time on the Christian Music Road podcast. And take care, everyone. That was just a good note. Sorry, that was just a good note.